It's okay.
Spider-Man.
This crazy car parked outside. Hey, I'm Peter.
Tony. How about our other recruit?
Ant-Man.
He's raring to go.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man. Look at that. Look at that. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-ga-da-da-ga-da-da. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Hey guys, what's going on? So today is the beginning of Phase 3 Part 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you haven't already watched my Phase 1 and Phase 2 videos, I highly recommend going and watching those before watching this one. Some of what I say, some of what I talk about when I talk maybe about favorite characters or plot lines or character, outfit, costume design, hair design, literally everything. I feel like this whole series of mine has been a huge stream of consciousness, so you'll understand what's happening if you jump in here, especially if you've seen all the movies already. You'll get it, obviously, but in terms of just what I've been talking about regarding some of the characters and regarding the story within my Phase 1 and Phase 2 videos, I may reference that or I may talk about that in this video, and you may not catch on to it or understand exactly the full scope of what I'm talking about if you haven't watched those two previous videos. It's a whole series. Why would you start in the middle of the series? Why would you start halfway through the season when you can watch the whole thing? So we're starting Phase 3 today, and we are starting with my second favorite movie in the whole MCU. Literally my second favorite. This movie is so special to me, and that is Captain America Civil War. I love this movie so much, guys. It wasn't the first Marvel movie that I watched in theaters. I had already seen many of them in theaters, but it was the one that really ignited my love for this franchise. It was the one that made me decide weeks before this movie came out to catch up on all of the Marvel movies I hadn't already seen to go see this one in theaters. And then I went and saw this one, and I was like, yep, I'm hooked now to this franchise. I'm hooked to these characters. I am never not watching one of these movies in theaters ever again. I'm going to see all of them in theaters. I am following it. I'm an MCU fan now. And here we are now, 5 years later, which feels crazy because it feels like this movie just came out a couple years ago, and it's been 5 years. And I consider the Marvel Cinematic Universe my favorite, like, franchise world possibly ever. I talk about this a lot in my Phase 1 video, at the beginning of my Phase 1 video, but I think this world and these characters beats Harry Potter and Star Wars for me, which I consider kind of my other top two, like, favorite worlds in the whole movie and TV show realm. Now that's not including books, because if I was going to include books, we gotta include like Percy Jackson, and we gotta include the YA/new adult series A Court of Thorns and Roses. That would literally be like tied for #1 for me if I was including like books that haven't been adapted into brilliant franchises yet, though, even though Percy Jackson and A Court of Thorns and Roses are both being adapted into TV shows right now. Percy Jackson for Disney Plus, A Court of Thorns and Roses for Hulu. So those could enter in to my like top favorite worlds of all time. They could enter in very soon. But besides those, I'm getting off topic. Out of what is currently a movie or a TV show franchise, my top 3. Oh, I forgot Avatar: The Last Airbender. I totally forgot to talk about Avatar. I didn't include Avatar the Last... Okay, live action. Let me just say live action. Live action. My top 3 are Marvel, Star Wars, and Harry Potter. #4 would be Game of Thrones. Would I ever want to live in Game of Thrones? No, compared to the other 3 where I'd love to live in them. But like, Game of Thrones in terms of a franchise I love, that's #4. But anyways, yeah, I think Marvel is my #1. I think it's become my #1 over the past 6 months, as I talked about in my Phase 1 video. Now, when we include animation, Avatar: The Last Airbender is like tied for 1. number one. Anyways, I forgot what brought me onto that topic. I kind of digressed a bit, but yeah, Captain America Civil War was the thing that kind of really made me commit to loving this franchise. It really kind of sold me on it in a sense, and ever since then, 5 years later, it is still my number 2 in my ranking of the MCU. So that just shows how much I love this movie. I'm so excited to watch it with y'all. I actually, as I mentioned this at the very end of my Phase 2 video, but I have not watched this movie all the way through since I saw it in theaters in 2016. That is really shocking considering that I consider it my second favorite. You'd think, oh, I've watched it like 30 times by now. I'm not one to rewatch movies all the time. The only time I really rewatch movies on a consistent basis is if they're already on TV. If we see it on TV, I'll like put it up there and I'll have it on the background. And I don't even consider that like a full rewatch. It's just like I have it on the background. And I have had that happen some with Captain America Civil War, but then again, it'll sometimes only be like a scene or two, and then one of my parents will flip it or I'll flip it or something like that, you know? So in terms of sitting down and watching the movies like I'm doing now, most of these Marvel movies, I haven't done that. Like, I watched them the first time I watched them, and that's it. And since then, I've seen them on TV in bits and pieces. I definitely want to start rewatching these movies more though, like just in my spare time, like if I'm doing something and I can have the movie more on in the background, like on my computer or on the TV, I definitely want to start purposefully putting on the Marvel movies just because they've become such a comfort to me these past couple of months. It just makes me happy to have them on. So I think once I finish up this rewatch marathon I'm doing for y'all, I'm gonna start like, especially like this one, Endgame, Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok, the Avengers, stuff like that. I'm gonna start putting them on in the background way more often than I have in the past. But let's jump right on in. I'm just so excited, y'all. This is gonna be so fun. Oh, right, this is the movie that introduces us to Zemo, right? As we all know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was on these past couple of months and we got to see more of Zemo, so I'm really excited to kind of see the first movie with him in it again.
Возвращение на родину. 1. Грузовой вагон.
I wonder what made them choose those specific words also, like freight car and like other stuff. Like, why those words specifically? They may go into that more in the comics. I haven't read the comics, so. Oh, this is the murder of Howard Stark. Oh, this looks like this is the beginning of like the more like 3D. Yeah, oh, I love this intro. Oh, okay, it's not there yet. We're still doing the one where the studios is underneath, but this is the beginning of like the 3D text. Maybe, or maybe we've already seen that a little bit in Phase 2 and I just didn't notice. Oh, it's Scarlet Witch. Oh, I'm just speaking about everything. I'm so excited. Is this the first introduction we get to Red Wing? Like, is this the first time we see Falcon using Red Wing in the movies? I think so. This looks like the same suit that Steve was wearing in Age of Ultron. It looks like the exact same one, and if so, great, because I love this suit. Another reason I love this movie, and this movie is like my second favorite, is because this movie is basically like an Avengers movie. Literally almost all of the Avengers are in this, and like this proves it right here. Within the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, we've already got not only Captain America, but we've also got Nat, we've also got Falcon, we've also got Wanda. Like, that's already so many of them. And yeah, Falcon and Nat have been in most of the Captain America movies. We got Wanda, and that's just the beginning. We're about to get Tony soon. We're gonna get an introduction to one of my personal favorite superheroes of all time. We're gonna get Vision. This movie's pretty much an Avengers movie. It just focuses on Steve a lot, but then like everyone else is in it. Wanda is so powerful. She's like top tier, one of the most powerful Avengers, and I just love her so much. Again, Nat's hair is so different in this movie than the last time we saw her in Age of Ultron, where her hair was cut short again. Now her hair's longer. Her hair's like to her shoulders-ish, maybe a little past her shoulders. Again, it could be because she has it a little bit more straightened, and in Age of Ultron, it was a lot more curly. It totally could just be because her hair is straightened, but I swear her hair is also grown. And it's always like this in the Captain America movies, where she has her hair straighter and longer. I wonder why that is a pattern.
It's a shell game now. One of them has the payload.
You know, when I think about myself, I think that I would have as quick and as swift of reflexes as Steve Rogers does whenever he throws his shield up in the air like that to protect people from the bomb that was placed on it. But then I think realistically about myself, and I think that bomb went off really quickly. I would have spent half that time that he spent throwing it up panicking about there being a bomb on my shield that I love so dearly, because I get really attached to things, and if I was Steve, I would be really attached to that shield. And the thought, even though it's vibranium, the thought of it possibly getting very much damaged by that bomb would make me panic and hesitate about throwing it and it getting blown up. What he did was the correct move. I just feel like I am not that fast with my reflexes, and I would have panicked and probably blown myself up. Man, her hair has grown. It's way past her shoulders. Not like way, way past, but it is definitely past her shoulders here. This movie already has such good fight choreography with Nat specifically. This is great. Yes. That was so great. She's, again, she has much quicker reflexes than I do. I would have not caught that little vial. I would have panicked. She's so powerful. It's okay. You tried your best. He was mid blowing up, and you saved him from blowing up everyone around you. You tried. Who is this? Who is she?
Wake up, dear. Let's
Oh
say goodbye
yeah,
to fun.
it's Iron Man's mom. This is the weird scene where they de-age Robert Downey Jr. I vividly remember watching this in theaters and being very perplexed, because it looks like young him. It definitely does, but the technology was not there quite yet as it is 5 years later, so it looked weird. This looks weird. Like, it's groundbreaking technology that they're able to make him look so much younger, but there's something wrong in the face. There's something wrong here, and they haven't perfected it yet, even 5 years later, but you know, they are taking strides year by year as they continue to do more of this in like Star Wars and stuff like that. There's something weird going on there in his chin area.
Go break some eggs.
Why did he not introduce Pepper Potts? Is there something going on between him and Pepper Potts right now that I just didn't remember? Are they going on are they on a break?
Who's going to avenge my son, Stark? He's dead, and I blame you.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about that for a second, because that just makes me so sad. Like, I totally get where she's coming from. If that were me, I would be probably the same way. I would be just as angry. But I would not put my anger on Tony, because when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, he and the other Avengers were trying to save and did save thousands, possibly tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of lives, especially with the Battle of New York in 2012. They did save, ultimately, the world. In New York specifically, they saved millions of lives, but then in the long run, if Loki had won, if the aliens had continued to wreak havoc like they were, they could have left New York and gone to other cities. They could have killed millions and millions and millions of people. So back in 2012, the Avengers saved millions. Yes, there was probably possibly thousands that died in the process, hundreds, thousands, who's to know, but they ultimately saved everyone. And then same with Sokovia. If they hadn't done what they did in Sokovia and Ultron had won, possibly everyone on Earth would have died. So you shouldn't blame Tony, because if it weren't for Tony, you would be dead as well. You could have two other kids who are maybe were with you in the States. They could be dead. A possible husband or wife or someone could be dead. All your friends could be dead if he hadn't done what he did. Yes, there were a lot of casualties in Sokovia, but her whole statement about how he may not care about that at all, he was just saving himself or whatever, all that they were trying to do was save as many people as possible. When you watch the movie, you see half the plan, besides obviously defeating Ultron, is saving everyone in Sokovia and making sure that they evacuate and get on the rescue ship and everything. So like, I get her anger, but like, direct it at Ultron. don't direct it at him. He did what he could. He almost died himself many times, saving all of humanity in the grand scheme of things. And I know you all know that. Like, this conversation I'm having now, it's like, I just wish I could have that with her. But then that's also ridiculous because she is a very minor Marvel character. And he proves himself time and time again that he is a hero. So, like, does anything I'm saying right now have any big consequence? No, everyone knows this. But, like, I just feel the need to say it because, listen, I was like, he already has enough PTSD. He already has enough guilt for the people he couldn't save. Because ultimately, when you're in that type of situation, you want to save everyone. So even if you save 5 million people, you're still going to feel guilty about maybe the 100 people who died or who weren't able to be saved. That's just how he is. That's just how all these heroes are. They're ultimately putting themselves at the most risk and almost dying themselves to try and save every single life they can and make it so the world doesn't get destroyed. So just seeing her do something that is ultimately going to make him feel worse, it makes me angry. Like, I know, I feel your pain, but you don't have to confront him with it. You can scream to the heavens how angry you are at Ultron for doing what he did. Or if you want to direct your anger at Tony, don't do it to his face. He already feels bad enough. But, like, you should be grateful that he was there. That he was there. Because if he wasn't, and if the other Avengers weren't there, quite possibly everyone in the world would be dead. The world would be destroyed, so he really deserves a thank you. End of rant. Back to the movie. Look at him. He does not look happy. Why did you have to do that to him? He already feels enough grief, guilt, and PTSD as it is. Oh my god, Wanda's room is so cute. She's totally decorated it. She has her own little guitar. I love her room design. I also want to touch on real quickly before we get into the whole plot of this movie that sparked the Team Iron Man versus Team Captain America thing that was trending all over the internet back in 2015 and 2016, where everyone was declaring which team they were on. So back in the day, before I had seen this movie, like literally before I even knew what was going on, I didn't know what the plot was to make me decide to be Team Iron Man or Team Captain America. I declared myself Team Iron Man. That was mainly because I'd seen the first Iron Man movie in theaters and the third one versus with Captain America, where I had watched all his movies at home. And also I was a huge fan of Robert Downey Jr. Still am. I don't know why I said was. So when I was deciding on which team to be, because I didn't know what the plot was, I was just kind of going off of which character I liked better, which person I liked better. And for me, it was, I prefer Iron Man as a person. I prefer Robert Downey Jr. just because I really like him as an actor. I also like Chris Evans, but I prefer Robert Downey Jr. So I was Team Iron Man. Now that I know more about the plot, again, I have only seen this movie once, so I still am very iffy on what the actual thing that's going on with the Sokovia Accords is all about. I really don't remember much off of what distinguishes, like, Steve's point of view versus Tony's. But from what I've seen online in the past 5 years, I think I would be now Team Captain America. But we will see very soon, within probably the next 30 minutes to an hour, I'll give you an updated status on which team I am. Probably going to be Captain America, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
We try to save as many people as we can. Sometimes it doesn't mean everybody.
Exactly.
Find a way to live with that. Next time, maybe nobody gets saved.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying.
Viz, we talked about this.
Viz, she already has a nickname.
But while a great many people see you as heroes, there are some who would prefer the word vigilantes.
And what word would you use, Mr. Secretary?
How about dangerous? What would you call a group of US-based, enhanced individuals who routinely ignore sovereign borders and inflict their will wherever they choose?
Okay, I'm already angry again. Excuse me, Mr. Secretary of State. If they don't ignore the sovereign borders and go take care of what's going on in Sokovia, who will? Are you expecting their army to do it? Are you thinking their army is going to be able to take down Ultron? No, they're not going to be able to. And then guess what happens? World annihilation. Destruction of humanity. Just because you didn't let the US-based superheroes go and save them. There's not a team of Avengers in every country. You can't be like, oh, let the Sokovian Avengers take care of it. They don't exist. These are the Avengers. These are the superheroes we've got. Yes, there may be other powered people in the world, but they're not teamed up. they're probably not trained. They're not willing to go out and defeat Ultron. If they did, we would have seen them. Yeah, what they do is dangerous, but if they weren't there, there'd be so much more destruction. I can already tell I'm going to be Team Captain America because I can already see where the perspectives are going to be going here.
New York.
If they weren't there, the aliens would have killed everyone in New York, and then the world next. Yeah, that building was destroyed, but, you know, the world was saved. You're welcome.
The Avengers were formed to make the world a safer place. I feel we've done that.
Tell me, Captain, do you know where Thor and Banner are right now?
What's your concern over Thor? Thor probably doesn't even, he's probably not even a legal US citizen. He just comes down from Asgard to help. Literally, he's Asgardian. Literally, he can go wherever he wants. Now, Hulk is a little bit more of a concern. But listen, they're probably working on it. They're probably trying to find him. They've been busy.
And if we come to a decision you don't like?
Then you retire.
False. No. Already called. I already know where this is going. I know what Steve's decision is. I know what Tony's is. I remember. I'm Team Captain America. I'm already angry over the Sokovia Accords. Oh, hey, Zemo. Never forget how the actor who plays Zemo is, I think, the German dub for Lightning McQueen in the Cars franchise. Icon. That's so funny.
He decided to spend his summer building sustainable housing for the poor, guess where? Sokovia.
See, Tony, his decision here is all based off of guilt. He needs to think logically how unsafe this world will become if the superheroes are controlled.
When I realized what my weapons were capable of in the wrong hands, I shut it down, stopped manufacturing.
Tony, you chose to do that. If we sign this, we surrender our right to choose.
Exactly. He wouldn't, it's Tony, like, he would not be in charge of these decisions. There would be people in charge of him. Oh, he's one of the ones carrying the coffin along with them. Oh. Oh, this music is beautiful.
Just because it's the path of least resistance doesn't mean it's the wrong path. Staying together is more important than how we stay together.
One thing I love about the whole conversation in this movie with the Sokovia Accords is it is, when you think of it, a really morally tricky question. Like, it is really something you gotta think about because, like, for me, I see both points. I see, especially, like, Vision with this whole mathematical equation he said about, like, you know, the rise in catastrophe type stuff rose whenever superheroes rose. Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but it also could maybe just be a coincidence, maybe, but, like, that makes sense, and, like, from the guilt side, it makes sense, but then also, like, I'm all for Steve's point of view, and I like how it really, this movie really does get you to think about it. Like, the superhero movies aren't just, oh, big bad guy, pew pew, save the day, big explosions, and that's pretty much it. Like, no, there are some, like, morally ambiguous, I don't know if that would be the word, just morally interesting perspectives to think about here and to really, like, decide on, like, which, it's like both are kind of right and both are kind of wrong. Ultimately, I think Steve's point of view is more right than Tony's, but, like, they both have points to them. Like, Tony's isn't 100% wrong. He has a point. There's a point there. I just think that his point is a lesser point than Steve's. Ultimately, the Avengers and all of them having full control of what they are doing, they will be able to do more good that way. If they are under government control, there could be a situation that they are needed in, that then the government doesn't let them get evolved in, and then all of a sudden that situation in whatever country it's in gets worse and worse, and millions more people die because they were not there. Versus if they had been there, they could have saved millions of people and stopped the threat way quicker. Oh my god, Black Panther! Black Panther! T'Challa! Oh my god! So excited he was introduced in this movie. That's another thing I love about this movie and about how this was the movie that kind of was like my first big Marvel experience in a theater, like seeing it with a bunch of friends and stuff, and the thing that solidified my love for this franchise is it wasn't kind of a random, like, oh, that was Ant-Man for me, or oh, that was Iron Man 3, or something like, no, it was the one that introduced not only Black Panther, but Spider-Man into the MCU. That's a really big deal, and I got to witness that in theaters, and this movie was, like, became my special movie partly because of those things. Like, that's just, I love that. Anyways, one thing I'm a little confused about, if y'all watched my Phase 2 video, you remember the end credit scene where Falcon and Steve are with Bucky in what looked like some sort of garage. They had him, I think, like, tied up or shacked, like, handcuffed or something like that, you know, and it seemed like they had captured him. They were with him. They were saying they couldn't tell anyone. They couldn't tell Tony. When was that? If it was before this, that doesn't make any sense, because now it seems like Bucky's back winter soldiering again, like he was never even with them. If that end credit scene happened before this movie, how did he escape? Why did they let him leave wherever they were with him? But then if that scene took place after this movie, it just is kind of weird that they would show that end credit scene after this movie. Or before this movie, I mean.
I should be the one to bring him in.
Why?
Because I'm the one least likely to die trying.
Exactly. The only one who can take down a super soldier is another super soldier. There's so many army people or government people who would die trying to take down Bucky. The angle that they were shooting those blueberries made them look so big. Wait a minute. They're not blueberries. No wonder. I think they're actually plums. I was like, those are such big blueberries. They're plums.
Well, the people who think you did are coming here now. And they're not planning on taking you alive.
Wait, so that wasn't him in Vienna? It looked awfully like him. It's Black Panther. Oh, he got there so fast. Oh, look at him.
Got him.
Oh, he's so cool. Those wing maneuvers. It's all so cool. Oh, I love this scene. I love this scene in theaters with the cars. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, that is so cool. I love that.
Pinch of paprika.
Oh, Vision's cooking. I love these scenes. These were always my favorite scenes. As someone who has been on the Vision, Wanda, loving their relationship train since like 2015, as I've mentioned in like so many of my videos, how much I love them, I craved and gobbled up every single little scene like this we got of them, because we didn't have a full TV show of them yet. I just had the one little interaction in Age of Ultron, and then we had this sweet scene here, and then we get a couple more scenes, like I think, yeah, a couple more scenes in Infinity War. And I remember in theaters how excited I was for this scene, because I wasn't really sure if my hunch based off of how I felt about them being a good couple in Age of Ultron, I wasn't sure if Marvel actually was going to go that route. There was part of me that was like, it could just be me really reading things wrong, and maybe, oh, he was just saving her in Sokovia, and that was it. And, like, there's gonna be nothing else between them. There was part of me that thought that. I was like, I don't know if what I'm thinking is actually gonna happen, or if this is just a fantasy of mine. I was correct from the beginning. Like, I didn't know if they would follow the comics. So seeing this scene for the first time in theaters, I was so hyped.
So you like cats? What? Dude shows up dressed like a cat. You don't want to know more?
You like cats?
What's gonna happen?
Same thing that ought to happen to you. Psychological evaluation.
Oh, hey. It's, guy from The Hobbit. Bilbo Baggins. I don't remember the actor's name, but it's Bilbo Baggins.
Not getting that shield back, am I?
Technically, it's the government's property.
I hate that. I hate that. No.
Gee, we looked for the guy for 2 years and found nothing.
What about the end credit scene, though? I would run if I were you. Yeah, see, nothing ever good comes from something beeping. I didn't expect it to do that. I was thinking it would, like, blow up. But yeah, if you hear beeping, you run. But I see what's happening here. Zemo is getting Bucky to confess to killing Howard Stark, and that's gonna get Tony angry. Because he's trying to break up the Avengers, right? I feel like that's what I remember. He hates the Avengers, and he's trying to break them up. Right?
Желание. J'avoy.
Stop.
You could just like scream over him. Just scream and sing and do anything you can to make it so you like can't hear him.
We're in position.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, is this the iconic scene when like Steve is like holding the helicopter and he's like kind of doing that Spider-Man thing from Spider-Man 2 with the train, kind of? That similar like pose. Look at that. He's literally holding back a helicopter. That just seems so painful. Aw, Bucky pulled him out of the river the last time, and now Steve is pulling him out of the river. This is the end credit scene. This is when the end credit scene took place, right? Yeah. My question was solved. My question was answered. I don't remember any of this plot line here.
Who are they?
Their most elite death squad. More kills than anyone in Hydra history. And that was before the serum. They speak 30 languages, can hide in plain sight.
So they're still alive? When are they taken care of?
I have an idea.
Me too. Where's yours?
Downstairs. Where's yours?
Oh, I'm so excited. You guys have no idea how unbelievably excited I was when we saw that shot that said Queens and that song started playing in the theaters. Oh my god.
It's okay.
Spider-Man.
This crazy car parked outside.
Oh, Mr. Parker.
Hey, I'm Peter.
Tell me. That's you, right?
No. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Look, when you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
Tom Holland is so young here. He's so young. Isn't he like 19 here when he filmed this? I'm literally older than he was when he filmed this, I think. That's crazy. Considering I saw this at like 15 years old. That's just really crazy to me.
Might be a little dangerous. Better tell Aunt Hottie I'm taking her to a field trip.
Don't tell Aunt May.
All right, Spider-Man. Give me this.
Sorry, I'll get.
So yes, I consider Spider-Man like my favorite superhero of all time. Tom Holland may have a big part in that, and Tom Holland's iteration of Peter Parker. I would consider myself to be a part of the grouping of people, generation you may say, who kind of, I mean, technically, I could have grown up with the Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield iterations of Spider-Man. I was alive for all of them, but as a child, it's like young child, not being someone who was really into comic book stuff, didn't really know who Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield was at those young ages of between, 3 and 12 or whatever. I never watched those Spider-Man movies. They came on TV sometimes. I knew who Spider-Man was, but I really had no attachment to them. I now have seen the first 2 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Yes, I still haven't seen the third, and I still haven't seen the Andrew Garfield movies. Don't worry, I'm going to before Spider-Man 3 comes out, because I am still on the huge train of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield showing up in those movies. Everything that they've all been saying in interviews, they're lying. They're lying. They're gonna be in Spider-Man 3, I just know it. But anyways, then I saw this movie in theaters, and I met Tom Holland's iteration of Peter Parker, and I was obsessed. And I've obviously seen all of the MCU Spider-Man movies. I've also seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, even though I know that's more of a Miles Morales movie. I love Miles Morales. But anyways, besides the point, since I've seen all of this Peter Parker in theaters, and I've kind of been obsessed with this story along the way, this is my Spider-Man. Tom Holland is mine, while maybe more of like the 90s kids and the kids who grew up in the 80s who were in their 20s and 30s at the time, or maybe even teenagers at the time that Tobey Maguire had his Spider-Man movies and Andrew Garfield had his, those are their Spider-Mans. I say that all the time, how like they still, because of the nostalgia factor, those are their Spider-Mans. For me, this is the one I saw in theaters as a teenager going into now being a young adult. This is my Spider-Man. And I'm happy that this is my Spider-Man because, in my opinion, this is the best Spider-Man. He is the best. He's the best Peter Parker. He's the best Spider-Man. He has Iron Man too. He's not only just Spider-Man, he's Spider-Man with all of the Avengers. You can't beat that. So, I know y'all may have your opinions. You may prefer Tobey Maguire, you may prefer Andrew Garfield, and that's fine. I still haven't seen Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but just based off of my opinion right now, I still think that Tom Holland's is the best one. But from what I've seen of Tobey Maguire, he's great. He just doesn't look like a teenager. He's a great Spider-Man. He did a great job with the role. Not saying any of them have been bad as Spider-Man. None of them have. They've been great. I assume Andrew Garfield was also great. And Tobey Maguire was great. But he also looked like 29. Meanwhile, Tom Holland looks 15, looks 16. He looks like a teenager. And I'm not saying, oh, you just have to look like a teenager to be the best Spider-Man. That's not just it. He also really embodies the personality, the nerdy, shy, but heroic personality that Peter Parker is. He just is Peter Parker. And then he's Spider-Man. It's like he's literally perfect. He's perfect as Spider-Man. Like, they literally hit the gold mine casting Tom Holland. They really did. Oh, hey, Hawkeye.
How about our other recruit?
Ant-Man.
He's raring to go.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man.
I'm shaking your hand too long. Wow, this is awesome.
I love him. Oh my god. Oh my god. We are heading into one of my favorite scenes in the whole MCU.
All right, I ran out of patience. On to ruse!
Oh my god, this is so iconic.
Nice job, kid.
The biggest disappointment of that scene though right there is how he didn't say hey everyone like he did in the trailer. The trailer where he looks up and he says, "Hey everyone." That's so much better. Why did they cut that line? Why did they cut that line? It was still fantastic, but why did they cut that line?
We'll talk about it later. Just...
Hey, everyone.
Good job.
There he said, "Hey everyone." They just moved the "Hey everyone." I preferred the "Hey everyone" when he initially lands.
All right, Lang.
Hey, guys, something.
Oh, what the hell was that?
I believe this is yours, Captain America.
Oh, great. Move, Captain. I won't ask a second time.
Oh, that's so cool. This is literally just one of the best scenes in the whole MCU. This whole airport battle is just brilliant. It's just so exciting.
Now! Oh, come on! Oh, man, I thought it was a water truck. Sorry.
Oh my god. Ant-Man and Spider-Man really make this battle with all their talking. It's just so funny. Oh my god. Did y'all just see how Spider-Man landed like that? That was so cool. Oh my god. The squads. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're so cool. This is so cool. They're so cool. Oh my god. Nat and Hawkeye fighting. It's like, oh.
We're still friends, right?
Buckled in?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good, Arrow Guy.
Arrow Guy!
You got hard, kid. Where you from?
Queens?
Brooklyn.
I love that interaction between them. I honestly wish we could have gotten more interactions between Peter Parker and Steve before Endgame happened. Like, a couple more scenes with them would have been great.
It's your conscience. We don't talk a lot these days.
Friday?
It's your conscience. Giant Man.
We haven't met yet. I'm Clint.
I don't care.
I love how he stops fighting to introduce himself. That's so funny.
Something just flew in me!
Hey guys,
I love this part. I love this part.
you know that part? Where they're on the snow planet? With the walking thingies!
Oh, I completely forgot about this. I was genuinely so worried in theaters when this happened. I was so worried they were gonna kill off Rhodey.
Where police also found a wig and facial prosthesis approximating the appearance of one James Buchanan Barnes.
There we go. I think I said earlier that what Zemo wants is the end of the Avengers. I think I'm wrong. I think what I remembered is that he wants the end of the Super Soldier, right? Not the Avengers. I think it was Super Soldiers. That kind of looked like Henry Cavill for a second.
I'll put you on hold. I'd like to watch the line blink.
He's in a arm harness thing. How is he gonna fight Steve soon? Are you telling me he did that with like a sprained arm or whatever? Yeah, he totally just took his arm out of the harness. Tony, that is not good for your health. That is such a cool shot there. I loved that.
Oh, wait, Tony.
I get why Tony is angry. Like, I 100% get it. But also, Bucky was completely brainwashed.
Yes.
When did Steve ever find this out? When did that happen?
It wasn't him, Tony. Hydra had control of his mind.
Exactly. Like, I still totally get Tony's anger, but not to this extent to literally then start attacking them. Like, maybe just be really angry, punch Bucky, and then be really angry, but not attacking to this scale. If you know it was because he was brainwashed. He literally had no control over what he was doing. Oh my god, that's gotta hurt. Even if you're a super soldier, that was such a large fall.
This isn't gonna change what happened.
I don't care. He killed my mom.
Yeah, like, I totally get his perspective. This is just, it's like, when I'm in this outside perspective, I'm like, can we just, like, punch him and then go and be really mad for a while? We don't need this scene. This scene right here. This is beautiful. This is one of the best scenes in the whole MCU. Top 6. Like, we're fighting to the death here. Like, this is a fight to kill. That's kind of dramatic. And, like, I totally get it. I may even do the same in his situation. Like, if I was Tony. But, like, just from this outside perspective, seeing that Bucky was completely brainwashed and had no control over what he was doing, and he did it to a bunch of people. Look at that. Look at that. That's one of the best shots in the whole MCU. That's like top 3, top 4. There's so many brilliant shots in the MCU though, it's hard to rank them. It's like looking at it from the outside perspective, you can see, it's like you have to get past the anger to see that, hey, he doesn't deserve to die over this when it entirely wasn't his fault. He literally, he didn't even volunteer to be a super soldier or to do all that for Hydra. He was literally forced to do everything against his will. It's like, again, that tricky situation where it's like, I totally feel for Tony, but when you look at it from that outside perspective, you gotta give him a little bit of a break. Be angry at him, punch him, do something, but don't try and kill him.
This is all you wanted. To see them rip each other apart.
T'Challa is so wise. He immediately saw, oh, Bucky was not in the wrong, and now he's going for who really was in the wrong. And I know that's not like a really, really wise thing, but just how this whole scene is handled, T'Challa just sounds so wise. And his line delivery, he's just amazing. Chadwick Boseman is brilliant.
I knew I couldn't kill them. More powerful men than me have tried.
Yeah, so see, it was kind of both motivations. He, 1, wants the super soldiers to end, and 2, wants the Avengers to end. He just wants there to be, like, no more of all of that.
Vengeance has consumed you. It's consuming them. I'm done letting it consume me.
You're so wise. You are so wise.
Stay down. Final warning.
Oh, here we go. iconic line, right? He's about to say it.
I could do this all day.
Yes, you can. Oh, oh, this is painful to watch. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Whoa, 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 I just got a big parallel. Pause. That was almost so close to that scene in The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Spoilers for anyone who's not seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet, but that scene in episode 4, I believe it was, where John Walker smashes the guy's face with the shield. Oh, were they intentionally paralleling this, where it appears as if Steve is about to do the same thing to Tony, but then instead goes for his suit instead? Again, showing the difference, like, between Steve as Captain America and John Walker as Captain America? Oh, that's a parallel. I love that. Showing he would never do that like John Walker would. He never would, no matter how much he's trying to hurt or whatever someone. He would never kill them that aggressively or on purpose. Oh, that's just heartbreaking. That is just heartbreaking. This is such a heartbreaking movie. I still love it so much, but it's so heartbreaking.
Toilet privileges twice a day.
Twice a day? What if he really has to go? Stanley.
Are you Tony's stank?
Icon.
There's been a breach at the Raft prison.
He's breaking him out, right? Steve's breaking him out of prison.
If you need us. If you need me. I'll be there.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Oh, that's such a cool, like, title screen there. Is he in Wakanda? I think he's in Wakanda.
You know, if they find out he's here, they'll come for him. Let them try.
Yes. Oh my God, it's Wakanda. Oh, that's iconic. Yay! Yay! Spider-Man will return. That's so exciting. So that was Captain America Civil War. That movie holds up so well. That movie is brilliant. That was amazing. I'm just gonna say it. I love that movie so much more than The Winter Soldier. Don't get me wrong, The Winter Soldier is fantastic. It is very well made, the action scenes are very good, but the plot of this movie is so much better in my opinion. This movie, I was engaged with it the whole time. I was so excited the whole time. Yes, this movie has the advantage of having Iron Man in it, and Spider-Man, and Black Panther, and Wanda, and Vision, and literally everyone except like Thor and Hulk. And like Winter Soldier doesn't have that. So that's definitely one thing on Civil War's side, but like it's just so much more exciting and engaging and fun to me than Winter Soldier is. Like Winter Soldier is very well made and it's very good, but I get a little more bored during parts of Winter Soldier. I start to kind of want Winter Soldier to keep going, wrap it up, or not wrap it up, but like speed up a bit. It's like I start to get bored and I want things to progress faster. Meanwhile with Civil War, it's just, I don't have that feeling at all. It's so good. It's just perfect. It's perfectly paced. The plot is just brilliant. Everything's so good. Zemo is such a good villain. This movie introduced Spider-Man into the MCU. Also Black Panther, but Spider-Man was such a monumental thing because of the fact that he is owned by Sony, and the fact that Marvel was able to make a deal with Sony to get him into the movies. That was such a big deal when it happened. When they surprised everyone having him in the trailer, which by the way, I think they shouldn't have put him in the trailer. I think he should have been a surprise within the movie, but still, whenever he was revealed in the trailer, it broke the internet. Everyone freaked out. It's just so good. It's just so good. I just love this movie so much. It's so brilliant. So next, we've got Doctor Strange. I've only seen Doctor Strange once in theaters in 2016. So I'm so excited to rewatch it again. It's been so long. I've seen it. Again, I've seen little clips here and there when it comes on TV, but other than that, just the one time. I've also, since watching that movie in theaters, I've become so much more of a fan of Doctor Strange because of Infinity War and Endgame, especially Infinity War though. Whenever he shows up, he's just so powerful, and I love it when a character comes in and they're just like a genius and they just know what they're doing and they're able to help the other main protagonist or whatever in such a big way because they're like so smart and they're so powerful. And that's exactly what it feels like for me with Doctor Strange in Infinity War. It's like he just comes right in with all the others and he's like, listen, I am the power source you guys needed, and it's so iconic. So yeah, we're watching Doctor Strange next. I'll see you guys in Doctor Strange. Oh my god, is that Mads Mikkelsen? I apologize, I do not know how to pronounce his name correctly, but is that him? Also, I don't think that's Mads Mikkelsen now from this angle. Oh, come on, wait, that does look like him, kind of.